Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Trucking with Bones and the Paperwork Princess, along with Harley and Doggo, where we talk about everything from car hauling to life on the road, from cranky brokers to entitled customers. Thank you for joining us on this journey we call life. All right, here we go. All right guys, so if y'all remember here just a few days ago, I did a hard reset on my Big Road logbook device, which meant I had to take this little doohickey apart, disconnect the battery in it. And when I did that, it was supposed to have fixed all the glitches in Big Road, except that it didn't. It actually almost seemed to have made it worse. That morning, after I had signed my logs and closed out, it decided to put me on driving while I was sound asleep, and then left me on duty for the rest of the night, which means I had to edit my logs and sign them again. And I hate doing edits when it's not necessary once I've already signed. Now, here's the interesting thing. This little wide on-duty spot right here is the only time that I actually stopped during all of this. That was solid driving. Yet look at all the on-duties while I'm driving. It's so frequent that it's a solid line there. Check this out. Look at the amount of time. 0 minutes, 3 minutes, 0, 0. And it's locking up where it'll barely move sometimes. There, see all those? And I'm actually driving, nothing but driving during all of that. And yet it's showing me as being on duty. Look at all this. On duty, on duty, on duty, on duty, not driving is what it's saying. And yet I was driving for all of that. And it just goes on and on and on and on. And it locks up and it won't do anything. And there's the beginning of the day. So, what a mess. Any of you guys ever had that problem? And I've updated the tablet. I've updated Big Road. It tells me there's no updates available. I've turned it off. I've turned it back on. I've reset the device. I've logged out. I've logged back in. I did the hard reset that I mentioned a couple days ago, which they assured me that it was fixed at that point. And then they started telling me things like, well, if it's not 100% charged, it may not act correctly. If it's 99%, it may not act correctly. If it's not plugged in, it may not act correctly. If I didn't turn it off at some point in the last 48 to 72 hours, it may not act correctly. I call horse apples on that. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a techie nerd. All I know is that there's a bunch of dumb garbage right there. And it's been doing that to me for 2 straight weeks. I can't. Well, look at there. I'm making a liar out of me. It ain't, whoops, see, no, it went and locked up. There it goes. But if I sign it now, at some point during the night, oh, that's the other thing I said. If I don't actually sign it at the end of the day, that might make it want to mess up. So I signed it while I was on the phone with Big Road, and that was the only night it has ever put me on driving while I've never left my parking spot. Never even got out of bed. So go figure that one. Otherwise, I don't sign it at night. I wait till in the morning because it always does dumb stuff like it'll sit there showing me, well, I've got it on sleeper berth right now, but showing me on off duty or sleeper berth, and then suddenly it'll put me back to on duty, and that's where it'll keep me for the rest of the night. So when I wake up the next morning and pick my logs up, I'm in the red for the whole night. So I got to go back and hit the edit button, which shows an edit. And then I've got to be able to explain that edit to a DOT officer if I get an inspection. And so I just prefer to avoid that. And so I just wait till the next morning, and then I sign my log after correcting the fact that I am not on duty all night. But the good news is I'm done for the day. Check it out. Truck stop. Y'all have a good one. And if you have any idea what's wrong with this thing, drop it in the comments. I would love to figure it out.